New details tonight in a terrible crime. Today, a judge called the man charged with killing 5 neighbors evil on steroids. Now we're learning more about the suspect from a neighbor who was in the apartment building when the shooting started. NBC5's Natalie Martinez live now with new information. Natalie.
Allison, neighbors tell me about a loner who lost his job and went inside this apartment building on West Irving Park Road. Prosecutors tell us in court that this man was angry and that he went on a murder spree.
A quiet neighborhood on Chicago's northwest side. Families gathered for dinner, children playing in nearby apartments. It was an ordinary Saturday evening, but in a matter of minutes, everything changed. 5 lives were gone, and one man, an unlikely suspect, was in custody. This is the story of the Dunning tragedy. A story that leaves behind only questions, fear, and the haunting silence of what no one saw coming. It began just after 5:30 p.m. inside a modest condominium complex. Residents were preparing for a quiet night. Neighbors say a man, 67 years old, lived in that building for nearly 15 years. He was no stranger to those around him, a retired construction worker, someone you might pass in the hallway and barely notice. But on this night, he walked out of his own apartment and into someone else's. What happened next was so sudden, so violent, that no one inside stood a chance. 4 people sat together at a dinner table. Within moments, every single one of them was dead.
He was scared.
Daniel Kitla says he came face to face with a killer Saturday as Christoph Merrick walked by his 3rd-floor apartment window.
We had the eye contact. I locked my door.
Daniel heard shooting in the apartment below him around 5:30 p.m. He'd soon find out that his neighbors, Tsvetanka Kostadinov and Avelo Popov, and their dinner guests, Iskra Popova and David Hennick, were all murdered.
The defendant approached the 4 victims in the kitchen and fired numerous shots.
That's when prosecutors say Merrick made his way upstairs with a .40 caliber handgun to Jolanta Topolska's unit.
The defendant shot victim 5 once in the abdomen. Victim 5 was somehow able to run out her back door and down 1 flight of stairs to the 2nd floor.
The man didn't stop there. He climbed the stairs calmly, deliberately, until he reached another apartment. Inside was a woman. When neighbors later saw her rushed out on a stretcher, clinging to life, there was hope she might survive. But by late Saturday night, that hope was gone. 5 victims in total, 5 families destroyed, and a community left reeling.
Merrick allegedly caught up with her and shot her in the back of the head before going back to his own unit, where he left the gun on the table. He went outside and told police he was the one they were looking for. Daniel showed us the stairwell, which hadn't been fixed until today. Here, Daniel says he saw Topolska's son running for his life.
He told us, we have to run because he gonna kill us, all of us.
The judge calling the accusations evil on steroids, ordering the 66-year-old truck driver held without bond after hearing about the chilling notes found in Merrick's apartment.
No mercy. Remember, whatever they do to you, you control it yourself, not them. Enough. They have to pay for it.
A neighbor who doesn't want to be identified is shaken.
Everything was just tragic.
But recalls a deep love between her 2 former neighbors.
They were walking down holding hands to a gas station.
A 5 memorial cross here tonight. Yolanta's son took a picture with his mom's cross earlier today. He told me he wasn't ready to share his story, but that the truth would come out, and eventually he would tell us that story.
By Sunday, the Cook County Medical Examiner confirmed some of the names. Jolanta Toslaska, age 53. Tozentaka Kostadinova. Others would be identified later. Danadil Meldonov and Avilole Popov. Crosses appeared outside the condo building. Handmade memorials where crime scene tape once stood. Candles flickered. Prayers were whispered. The names were spoken aloud, in disbelief, in mourning. Not everyone inside the building was killed. Some neighbors survived, barely. One man said his wife first warned him something was wrong. He stepped toward the side door, and then he saw him. I saw his face. I saw his eyes. He was looking at me. I was looking at him. And I knew he was coming. He slammed the door, locked it, grabbed his wife, and ran. He later admitted he believed he would never make it out alive. Another resident described the scene outside: flashing lights, squads everywhere, paramedics rushing into the building. The shock in his voice was clear. You wake up and it's reality.
That could happen to me. I was face to face by this man.
A man who lives in this condo complex in the 6700 block of West Irving Park Road told us tonight he feels lucky to be alive after seeing his neighbor right before the shooting.
I saw his eyes. He was looking at me. I was looking at him. And I know he's coming. So I didn't have my door locked. So I just locked my door. I grabbed my wife and we start running.
Neighbors say the 67-year-old construction worker had anger management issues.
Before, I was scared, seeing him every day on the stairs when he was passing by, and when he was looking at, I say hi, and he was looking like, it's over for you.
Police say they are still trying to figure out what set the man off last night. Around 5:30, they say he used his handgun to open fire on his neighbors.
There were 4 people at the table eating dinner. For reasons we don't yet know, he opened fire on all 4 of those individuals, killing them all.
Then he walked upstairs and shot a woman in a separate condo. She was in critical condition but died earlier today.
He knew everybody in the building knew him.
Today, neighbors walked by the scene in the Dunning neighborhood where memorials now stand, reminders of the unthinkable thing that happened here.
My daughter, Anya, she called me, "Oh my gosh, Mom, are you okay?" I said, "I'm fine, I'm alive." But it's a horrible, road is closed, everything is closed, and a lot of police I saw.
The property manager of the condo building said the suspect may have been under financial pressure and facing foreclosure. He said the suspect had tense interactions with other neighbors in recent days.
This is some type of confrontation that may have been going on for a while that led up to this. The detectives are still in the preliminary on this.
That man had lived in that same building for the last 15 years. He has not been named and he has not been charged with anything at this point. The family of 4 that was shot sitting around the dinner table, there was another man inside the house last night, 21 years old. He survived, but he lost his entire family.
What could drive someone, an elderly neighbor with no criminal record, to commit such violence? Residents recall unsettling encounters, dirty looks, arguments over noise, the kind of tension that simmers quietly in shared spaces but never seems to boil over. Police have been called before, minor disturbances, but nothing that would predict this. Still, some neighbors admitted they always felt uneasy around him. One man confessed, "Before, I was scared. I saw him every day on the stairs. The police came a couple of times. They couldn't do anything with him. Now, maybe I'm not scared because he's gone." As investigators worked, they recovered the suspect's handgun. How he obtained it and why he chose to use it on this night remains unknown. Police say the attack appeared targeted, but the motive is still hidden in shadows. Was it anger, resentment, or something darker festering inside for years? Detectives interrogated the man late Sunday. Prosecutors considered charges, and the neighborhood tried to understand how an ordinary evening turned into one of Chicago's most chilling nights.
He's accused of shooting and killing his neighbors at an apartment complex on Chicago's northwest side.
This morning, we're getting our first look at the man. Here he is, now charged with 5 counts of first-degree murder.
CBS 2's V. Wynn is live in the Dunning neighborhood with the new developments. V?
Ryan and Audrina, Chicago police telling us they believe this mass shooting stems from a dispute between neighbors. Since we have been out here this morning, we have seen several people stopping by and paying their respects to the victims. A man named Greg Zanis set up these crosses in front of the apartment yesterday, and this was before we learned a 5th person passed away. This is the man who police say is behind the shooting rampage, 66-year-old Christoph Marek. We know he's a retired construction worker lived at the apartment complex for 15 years, and neighbors say they have had nothing but problems with him. On Saturday evening, police got a call for shots fired at the apartment complex near West Irving Park Road and North Oak Park Avenue. Officers found 5 victims in 2 separate units. Police tell us 4 of the victims, 3 men and 1 woman, identified as Tess Vaitanka Costa Dinova, were eating at the dinner table when Maurick shot them. He then went upstairs to the 3rd floor where he confronted and shot another neighbor, 53-year-old Jolanta Topolaska. According to the medical examiner, family prayed and hoped she would make it through, but she died yesterday at the hospital. Now, I did get a chance to talk to her son off camera this morning. He tells me that his family is still in shock and how they appreciate everyone's support. He's now in the process of healing and grieving and says that he's keeping his head high because he knows that is what his mom would have wanted.
5 lives ended in silence, neighbors spared but haunted, and a city left asking the same question: why? Perhaps the answer will come in time, or perhaps it will never be fully known. But for those who lived through it, who looked into the shooter's eyes, who ran for their lives, who lit candles at the memorials, the memory would never fade. Because in the quiet halls of that Dunning condominium, normal life ended the moment one man opened his door. Alright, y'all, there y'all have it, man. That's a crazy story of the elderly man killing his 5 neighbors in an apartment. Hey, man, get in that comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Drillers and trappers, we out here trapping and drilling 247. Don't go nowhere. Watch that next video. Gang!